Be with us today, Spirit, as we come together in this sacred space to share our love with each other. We ask for our guides, angels, and ancestors to gather close to us so that we may feel and know their presence, love, and support. We ask for the higher master teachers to grant us wisdom and insight, and we call you all in using the prayer that the Master Jesus taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Good morning, everyone. It's so lovely to see all of your happy faces. And I'm Reverend Rose. It's my great pleasure to be here this morning and to serve Spirit and you. So, I'm doing something a little different today. So I hope you'll bear with me. Spirit was, what's the right word? Insistent that today, excuse me, I'm losing my voice too, that today I do more inspirational speaking and not really plan the sermon. And you have to understand that for someone like me that's very organized and who likes to be in control all the time, that's a really, really, really hard thing. So I'm going to talk about today, actually a reading that I did for all of you. So yesterday I said, okay, well, if you want me to do that, you got to give me something to go with. You got to give me something to start with. And so I pulled out my trusty tarot deck, one of my trusty tarot decks, and pulled some cards. And I pulled 3 cards for us who are here today, the people who are here online, the folks who are here in the body, and maybe even the folks who are in spirit. I don't know. But I know that they're present, and so I know that they will support what we're doing here today. So if you're not familiar with tarot, it's totally fine. You don't need to be. Tarot is another wonderful way to trigger your psychic intuition, as well as to connect with your loved ones, guides, teachers, any of those folks who are in spirit world. And I have been a tarot reader for probably almost all of my life now. I started when I was 16, and that was 40 years ago. So I will share some of these insights with you today as we go along. So I asked for 3 cards from Spirit for today. I actually pulled 2 major arcana cards. If you're familiar with tarot, tarot is divided into 2 sets of cards, the majors and the minors. The major cards actually talk about our spiritual path, our lessons in life as human beings, as spiritual beings in human bodies. And so when 2 major cards come up in a 3-card reading, that's a big deal, because it tells us that Spirit is working very closely with us at this time and is very interested in what we are doing spiritually and wants to help us along that path, as Spirit always does want to do, except that we often are not either listening or not paying attention or forget that they're there and just kind of go on about our days. So the first card that I actually pulled is the High Priestess card. So the High Priestess happens to be one of my favorite cards in the deck, and she represents things like esoteric knowledge, inner wisdom, and she also represents the shadow side of the self being honored. And sometimes that is something that we don't do or we don't know how to do. And the shadow side of ourself is usually the part of ourselves that we don't like as much as the other parts of ourselves, the parts of our personality that may be perhaps more challenging for others to deal with as well as for ourselves to deal with. The shadow can also represent things that we're trying to leave in the past, things that have happened to us that have colored the way that we look at things in our lives. Because to know oneself is to know all. That's one of the messages of the High Priestess. So if we know ourselves well enough, including our shadow sides of ourselves, as well as our more societally acceptable parts of ourselves, then we know ourselves completely. And in knowing ourselves completely, that means that we also know God, the universe, completely. She also represents hidden truths being revealed. And sometimes that idea of there are things within us that we haven't even explored, that there is divine knowledge within us that we may not be aware of, but that we need to understand. That's one of the things that the High Priestess also represents. She is the divine feminine within. She is deep meditative work. She is the sacred in the mundane, meaning that everyday life is as sacred as coming to church on Sunday. Everyday life is church, for lack of a better word. Everyday life is the divine in motion in our lives every day. And that's why it's important to pay attention to what's going on in our particular personal lives every day. She asks the question, what darkness in me needs attention? What can I bring forward? What can I excavate or uncover within myself that needs to be seen and heard and valued? Because even in challenges, there are values. Even in the things that we don't like about ourselves, there's value in that, especially when we learn how to embrace that and overcome it. So that's our first major arcana card today. The second is another one of my favorite cards, which is the Ace of Cups. Aces always talk about beginnings. They talk about new things, things coming to life. And cups are the suit of emotion, the suit of love, the suit of family, the suit of spiritual things, the suit of creativity. And so the Ace of Cups talks about a new opportunity for emotional and spiritual growth. A new opportunity to acknowledge feelings and emotions, perhaps ones that are even raw for ourselves, ones that need to be acknowledged, but perhaps we've put away or hidden away in some way so that we don't have to deal with them. And so the Ace of Cups encourages that understanding of those things, and that confrontation with those challenging things helps us to become more of who we are, to become more authentic in who we are. And in that way, the flow of creativity from the divine begins. We are able to accept the flow of energy that the divine is trying to bring to us. It may be the nurturing of a project of the heart, something that is very meaningful to us, and the nurturing of the energy around that kind of a project, or even that kind of person in our life. It's an outpouring of love from the divine, and seeing the divine as love in all things. So those are some of the messages that the Ace of Cups brings to us today. And finally, we have the Magician. The Magician is also a major arcana card. The Magician is the card that tells us that anything is possible, that magic is real, and that magic moves in energy all around us every day and every moment. It's the infinite abundance that is always at our fingertips. And it's the reminder that we have the necessary tools to manifest whatever it is that we need in this life. There's power in ritual. There's power in prayer. There's power in meditation. And so this is a reminder that those spiritual things that we sometimes forget about every day, that we sometimes put aside on a regular basis just because we're busy and we're human and we have lots of other things that are requiring our attention. It's a reminder that those spiritual moments in our lives, those moments of prayer, those moments of meditation, those moments of going within and reconnecting with the divine are essential to who we are as human beings and who we are as divine beings. This kind of inner work that the magician represents, and actually that the high priestess also represents, these kinds of works are the things that bring us peace and balance. So the foundation of that is actually making it happen. And that's what the magician represents. It's fine to say to yourself, I'm going to say a prayer about that, or I'm going to meditate on that. And then maybe we forget to go do it. The idea of putting that into practice is part of what the magician represents. The idea of making a few minutes a day of time to sit and have a prayer or to sit and do a meditation just for yourself, to reconnect with that divine energy that is within you as well as around you. Because as above, so below, as within, so without. And so in honoring those divine essences and moments of ourselves, we bring that divinity out into the world. So you are the high priestess. What challenges and shadow in your personality needs attention or focus, or perhaps just loving eyes that see it as a blessing? Because there's always a blessing in every challenge. What inner work is important for you to do right now? How can you bring that sacred energy to your everyday life? In addressing this, in discovering what might be a core challenge for ourselves, we open the floodgates of abundance in the universe. And that's what the universe offers to us. This immense flood, this immense flow of good energy that we can tap into anytime. So these are a reminder to do something for ourselves that's creative. It can be anything. A lot of people don't feel like they're creative people. And I would challenge you to remind yourself that we are all creators in different ways. Creating something can be painting a picture or drawing a picture or making a vision board or creating a collage. But it can also be something like arranging flowers, or doing something like painting a room in your house a different color because you feel like it needs to be a different color. The color represents something, or the color gives you a feeling of a certain type of energy. That's a creative project. It can be something like building something, like a model or whatever it is that you enjoy or think that you would enjoy doing. And it doesn't have to be something that's perfect. There's no perfection in creativity. Creativity is its own reward. And so, yes, there are creative people on the planet that they do those things as their line of work, their job, and they are rewarded by by receiving abundant money for that and those types of things. It doesn't have to be that for everyone. Creativity is available to everyone. And that's one of the things that brings in that flow of connection to the divine. When you're in something like a creative project, you feel that flow, that connection, and you might not understand exactly what it is you're connected to, but you can feel it. So you might be knitting on the couch. You might be creating some kind of journal entry or writing something or music. Whatever it is, it's going to make that connection easier for you. It's something that expresses your truth, because the divine is going to show you your truth. Sometimes your own personal truth is not always pretty to see or to experience or to remember, but by doing that, you're giving it permission to live and to be a part of who you are. And you can say, thank you, I'm grateful for that experience. And you can put that experience to some kind of practical work in your own life and make something out of something that was a challenge. In allowing space for that creativity to flow, you're balancing the part of you within yourself. You're balancing that divine energy with your physical energy, and you're creating space for spirit to work miracles, to manifest your dreams and your desires into the things that are attainable in the physical world. Because natural law says that the world is abundance. There's enough for everyone. There's enough for all of us. There's more than enough. And in being grateful for what you have now, you have the opportunity to attract more and to open yourself wider to receive. So these 3 cards are a reminder of that divinity that is always available to us. A reminder of the sense and the understanding and the wisdom that the divine is ultimate abundance, and that we just have to make a few minutes a day to tap into that, to do a small ritual or a prayer or a meditation or a creative project in order to tap into that, so that we can be the divine that we are meant to be, and that we can have the divine that we are meant to embody in our life every day. So now we're going to do a short meditation to bring some of those things perhaps into focus for you. So I would invite you at this time to get comfortable in your chair. Can we have some music, Laura? And as you get comfortable in your chair, I would invite you to put your feet on the floor, because you need that grounding energy of the earth. And by touching the earth with your feet, you are setting up a grounding place for yourself. And so as we begin, I would invite you to close your eyes and to breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And with every breath in, becoming more peaceful and more settled in your chair. And as you breathe out, releasing any thoughts and concerns that you don't need right now. Letting go of the day that has come before this moment. And honoring the opportunity to connect with the divine through meditation, Breathing in and breathing out. Moving your attention down to your feet where they touch the earth. Imagine that your feet are covered with the earth, covered with dirt or sand or some other earthly substance, and feeling the grounded, centered, steady energy that grounding with earth brings to you. Allowing yourself to be in your physical body, connecting to the earth, and moving on from that physical self into the spirit self through meditation. And so bring your attention up into the center of your chest, to your heart chakra. And as you bring your attention to your heart chakra, imagine that it is expanding, that it is opening like a flower. And within your heart chakra, see the beauty of who you are, the beauty of being a human in this time and this place and having this experience. Giving love to yourself. And now bring your attention all the way up to your crown chakra at the top of your head. And as you bring your attention to this chakra, notice a beautiful white light that extends from your crown chakra up into the heavens in such a way that you may not be able to see the end of that string of light. But knowing in your spiritual mind that this string of light goes up into the cosmos and reaches out in so many directions in a beautiful net of spiritual light and love, connecting you with all sentient beings in the universe. And so say to yourself, I am grounded, I am centered, I am connected, and know that it is so. And notice in the center of your being a beautiful white light that may be small when you first notice it, but this light begins to expand, to fill up your entire being. And you know, as this light begins to expand and to fill your being, that this is the light of the divine. This is who you truly are. Your spiritual self, your identity. And this beautiful divine light fills you, filling every cell in your body, filling every piece of your auric field and all of your auric fields that are around you. So that you are safe and secure and whole and loved in this beautiful white light. And just experience for a moment what that feels like to be held so lovingly in the light of God. And perhaps as you dwell in this light for a moment, images or thoughts come to you, words or pictures, messages from the divine for you today. Just be open to receive them. You don't need to take this moment to figure out what they mean. Just be open to receive. And whatever comes in, you will remember. And you can sit with later for more guidance and inspiration. Say thank you to Spirit for whatever comes. Thank you to the divine. And so knowing that you will continue to carry this beautiful divine energy with you throughout the rest of the day. Allow yourself to begin to come back fully into your physical body. Perhaps noticing once again your feet on the floor, that grounding energy of the earth pulling you back to your body. Noticing the chair underneath you, the space around you, the sounds of this place. And as you do come fully back to your physical self, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, wide awake and at peace, wide awake and loved.